What about either the walking in, like either the walking into the house story, where the housekeepers let you in, or the 7-Eleven deal one's good.
Yeah, so I knock on this guy's door, and I'm assuming housekeeper is squeegeeing the windows out front. And I ring the doorbell. She walks over to me. She's very broken English, Mexican lady. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, pull up my app real quick, find the homeowner's name. Or no, sorry. I was like, "Hey, we do the house behind you guys. Coming from over there, I was looking for," and I definitely pulled the wrong name. I think I said like James or something. I don't know. But I'm just trying to get her to go get her boss, right? She's looking at me all confused, which is why I think I had the wrong name. And I'm just like, "I'm Luke. I'm coming from the house. They live behind you guys. Would you mind grabbing the homeowner for me?" And she looks at me, looks up and down. She's like, "Ryan?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever," right? She's like, "Oh, okay." Like runs inside the house, opens the door, and she's like, come in." And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this definitely isn't how this was supposed to go. But after the third time she says it, because I'm like, "Can you just grab him?" And she's like, "No, come in." I was like, all right, like she's inviting me in at this point. You can't pin this one on me. I'm going inside the house. So I put my booty covers on. She brings me upstairs and opens the door. She's like, "This is Ryan's room." And it's just a kid's bedroom. There's like a race car bed. There's like toys all over the floor. I look at her and I'm just like, clearly there's been some miscommunication here. I'm just looking at her like, no, I'm looking for, where is the homeowner? I can't find his name. And I'm scrambling through the app trying to figure out who lives here. New move-in. I saw it on Redfin. Really nice house. And she's just like, "Oh." He runs downstairs. I'm just standing alone in this guy's house now. Now he comes out of one of the other rooms upstairs, like just got out of the shower, looks at me, I look at him, we're just like, he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, thinking on my feet, I'm just like, you know what, like, your housekeeper just like let me in. I'm coming from the behind you guys. I was curious if they maybe had referred you and you just expected me to stop by at some point. He's like, "No, like I just moved in here like 2 days ago." I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm Luke." And I just go into my normal pitch. And he's like, "Oh, pest control. Yeah, we don't have that yet." Super simple. Just, "I don't have that. I need that. You seem, like you know what you're talking about and seem like you do a good job." Just signs up. And then he yells down the stairs, he's like, "Jackie, stop letting random people into my house."
Yeah, almost like she's done it before. It's like
Yeah.
not the first time she's just like let some random guy come in. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
That was a pretty funny one. Another one, I was wrapping up. It was like at the end of a knocking day. I'm just at the 7-Eleven getting gas, using the bathroom. And I'm getting a, what are they called? I'm getting a slushie. 7-Eleven slushie also, if you haven't had, it's super good. And I'm waiting in line behind this guy with his kid there. And he's wearing a Submariner, so I'm just looking at him like, "Hey, nice watch." He's like, "Oh, thanks." Starts telling me his story about how it was the first watch he got when he got into finance, how he moved from Boston. And, I'm from New Hampshire area. I was like, "Oh, yeah." So we start talking about that. And eventually I just get to I just tell him, I'm like, "Look, like I run a pest control business here and like we're doing a lot of mosquito work." He's like, "Oh, I don't have a mosquito guy yet." And he tells me where he lives, the neighborhood, and that was the same neighborhood I've been knocking all day. And I checked my pins and I knocked on his door. He's like, "Yeah, I just don't answer the door for people." I was like, fair enough. Give him the quick pitch. He's like, "All right, like, yeah, I'll use you." And at this point, he's like verbally confirming to use me, but I haven't closed it yet. So him and his daughter are walking out. I'm just walking out with him, just trying to get this done right there. I'm like, "Okay, we can come out tomorrow. That good with you?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Cool. This is what it all looks like." And I'm just going through paperwork with him. I'm like, "Just need you to sign there." He looks at me, he goes, "Nice clothes." I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. I also need your credit card." It's like, "All right." He texted me afterwards. He was like, "Hey, that was a good close. ABC's always be closing. I was like, this guy gets it. It's true. Always got to be closing.
Even at 7-Eleven, I guess.
Sometimes a deal takes, we have a lot of deals that are just quick one-time meet them, sign them up, all within, 30 minutes. Some of them take a lot longer than that. So when we first went into University Park last year, there's this one lady I pitched, super friendly, super nice, great customer. And I've probably been to her house between last February when we first started till now, or till a couple months ago when she finally signed up. Probably been there like 8 times. First time was just a quick like, we have Terminex, we're good, but I'll keep you in mind. That's what everyone says when they just don't want to talk to you. And I probably checked back in with her every single time we went back through that area. So I've been to her house probably like 4 or 5 times at this point. And this year comes around, I stop back by, she's like, you're really persistent, aren't you? I'm like, well, how else are we gonna do this? I mean, you guys, I wouldn't come back so many times if you guys aren't signed up. And she's like, yeah, like, you're not gonna believe what happened. Like, my husband just switched the pest control company and he didn't tell me. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, like, he was having beers with his buddy across the street and apparently he referred him to this guy and we're using that guy now. He didn't even tell me about it. And I was like, oh, well, we could get him back right now if you want. You can just switch it over to me. It's like, ha funny. Now, I'm stopping by at probably 6:30. She's fully dressed up, waiting for her Uber, just ready to go to dinner. Her Uber shows up as this is happening. And after I make that joke, she's like, ha funny. I do the quick 1-sentence spiel. I'm just like, look, like, it's all the same stuff. We just use the In2Care traps and it works a lot better. Like, any reason you wouldn't just use me for it? She's like, how much is it again? Show her really quick. She's like, all right, yeah, let's just do it. I'll apologize to my husband later. Her Uber's here though, right? So I have between her front step and the curb to run her through everything, get her credit card and sign her up. And she's like, takes my phone and she's punching in her card digits. She has it memorized as the Uber driver's like opening the door for her and letting her into the car. So that one took all of really 3 minutes after spending the last year just continuously going back. So I think there's a lot of lessons you could pull from that. The one I'm personally gonna take is just continuously bother people until they do what you want them to do. I'm just kidding about that. But no, persistence goes a long way. And, something that does build a lot of trust is just continuously showing up again. Like, you become a regular when you see them, 4 or 5 times over the course of a year. You're no longer a stranger. And I think that alone builds a lot of trust. And it's been why we've been doing really well so far.
My favorite one was when you got them at Muchachos. So, you want me to tell this one from my perspective, or you want to tell it again?
I'll tell leading up to when we went back for the callback.
All right.
So, another really nice lady, pitcher. She was pretty busy when I first talked to her, so I had to make it brief, quick. But what she had told me is that her, she's from Utah. She grew up Mormon. So if you don't know, there's a huge door-to-door community within the Mormon community because all of them have to do, year to 2 year missions where they essentially spread their beliefs, knocking on doors. And a lot of the younger guys will transition into door-to-door pest control after that. So this lady, she grew up around all of that. So she was, thought what we were doing was pretty cool, which is pretty cool for me because not a lot of people think that. But she's like, yeah, you got to talk to my husband. He ran a door-to-door solar company before. And, we use our company, but we don't really care about them. Like, we'll switch to you guys. You just have to talk to him about it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm emailing back and forth with her. She's trying to set me up with her husband. And he reschedules on me twice. So the second time he did, I was like, you know what, let's just go knock on the door again and see if we can get lucky, right? So Bradley and I, we drive over there. It's like 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. I knock on the door. She comes out, and then from your perspective,
Yeah, so I'm just like sitting in the truck, watching Luca like knock on this door, and it's getting late, but so she opens the door and she's all like dressed up, like ready to go out, and so she's like, oh, like my husband's up the street, like having a few drinks at neighborhood like restaurant bar hangout, and so she's like, can you guys give me a ride up there? She's like, just a couple blocks, then we can talk to him. And so I'm like overhearing this from the truck. I'm going, I got to clean up my back seat, work truck. So I clean it up real quick. She just like, before I even have a chance to say yes or no, she's just sitting in the back seat. I'm like, okay, I guess we're going up the street here. And so we drive on up, park, get out, walk in, and meet the husband here, who turns out to just be like the coolest guy ever. Absolutely like loves what we're doing, wants to hear all about the business, tells us more about his story. And so Luke here not only closes the husband, but gets another deal with one of their friends who was just hanging out there, and goes, oh, I have my place over here and I have so-and-so, but like if you guys, are a better deal, then, I'll do it. And so just boom, 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 like gets it done. And so, the rest of our night was spent having a few beers, hanging out with them, and, getting some deals done at the restaurant after the end of the day. So that was a fun one, for sure. Certainly a lot more fun than just knocking on people's doors,